Are you tired of sweating through the summer while your energy bills go through the roof? Desperately wondering if there's a central AC system that actually does what it claims? Well, the answer is yes, but finding it took a lot more trial and error than I expected. I'm going to walk you through my top 6 picks, counting down to the absolute best. And let me tell you, the number 1 spot is going to completely change your expectations for how cool and quiet your house can actually be. So, stick around, because you really don't want to make a costly mistake here. 6. Senville 5-ton. When I first got my hands on this unit, I was genuinely excited because finding a massive 5-ton capacity system with an inverter variable speed compressor at this price point is pretty rare. It promises a lot of power for very large homes or commercial spaces, and on paper, the specs look incredibly competitive for anyone trying to cool a massive footprint without completely emptying their bank account. Testing the cooling power in a sprawling, open-concept space, it certainly pushes out a massive volume of cold air. The variable speed technology is designed to ramp up and down gradually rather than just turning on and off abruptly, which is supposed to save energy. And sure, it does cool the room down eventually, moving the sheer amount of air you would expect from a 5-ton beast. But, well, living with it day to day, some pretty frustrating cracks started to show. First off, the installation process was honestly a nightmare compared to what I'm used to. Even with a professional crew, the instructions and the fitting tolerances just felt a bit unrefined, leading to a much longer and more stressful setup process than anyone really wants to deal with when they just want their house cooled down. Then there is the noise. For a system that boasts modern inverter technology, it is noticeably louder than I'd like when it really ramps up to full capacity. You can hear that low hum vibrating through the floorboards. And if the outdoor unit is anywhere near a window you like to keep open, or a patio where you relax, it completely ruins the vibe. I mean, you kind of have to raise your voice just to have a conversation outside when this thing is working hard. 5. Cooper & Hunter 18,000 BTU. Now this one is entirely different from the Senville we just talked about, as it's designed for much smaller spaces, like a large single room, a garage, or a very small home. It comes with a multi-position air handler, which gives you a lot of flexibility in how you want to set it up. And that versatility initially caught my attention when I was planning out smaller cooling zones. During my initial testing in a mid-sized workshop area, the multi-position aspect proved to be a lifesaver for tight spaces. You can configure it horizontally or vertically, which is great for awkward utility closets or low-clearance attics. The airflow is reasonably strong right out of the gate, and the interface is fairly straightforward, making it seem like a solid, no-nonsense choice for specific, targeted cooling needs. However, well, when the first real heat wave hit, my optimism started to fade pretty quickly. While it kept the room decent during mild days, I noticed it really struggled to maintain a consistent temperature when the outdoor heat reached its peak. It felt like the compressor was constantly playing catch-up, running for way too long without actually hitting that crisp, satisfying level of comfort you expect from a dedicated central unit. And honestly, the build quality feels just a little flimsy. I mean, when you are unboxing it and looking at the panels and the coil housing, the metal feels thin, and the components just lack that heavy-duty, premium weight. I found myself worrying about how this unit would hold up over 5 or 10 years of hard use, especially in areas with harsh weather conditions. You know, for the price point, it's an okay backup or secondary unit, but it left me wanting a lot more reliability and consistency. 4. TOSOT 60,000. This is another massive 5-ton system, but the difference in quality and performance from the number 6 spot is night and day. TOSOT brings a 2-stage compressor to the table, which is a massive step up for managing both temperature and humidity efficiently in a large home environment. When I set this system up for testing, the first thing that struck me was the sheer unrelenting power of the airflow. This thing doesn't just blow cold air, it dominates the climate of the house. The 2-stage compressor means it can run at a lower, energy-saving speed on milder days. But when you need maximum cooling, the 2nd stage kicks in and brings the temperature down incredibly fast without breaking a sweat. I was also deeply impressed by the consistency it offers. With lower-end models, you often get hot and cold pockets throughout the house, but the TOSOT pushed the air so effectively that every single room felt perfectly balanced. I mean, walking from the living room to the back bedrooms, the temperature drop was completely uniform, which is exactly what you want from a high-capacity central air system. It also handles humidity like an absolute champion. Well, running it during a swampy, humid week, the air inside felt crisp and dry, which honestly makes a huge difference in how comfortable the house feels even at higher thermostat settings. The heavy-duty construction is also very apparent. The cabinet is thick, weather-resistant, and clearly built to withstand the elements for a very long time. You know, this is where I start getting really positive, because the TOSOT just works beautifully. It provides massive, reliable power, excellent humidity control, and a build quality that lets you sleep easy at night. 3. Senville 3-ton. While their massive 5-ton unit had some growing pains, this 3-ton version hits the absolute sweet spot for the average-sized family home. It features their highly praised inverter variable speed compressor, but in this form factor, the technology works flawlessly, delivering an incredibly refined cooling experience. Testing this unit in a standard 3-bedroom home was an absolute joy. The inverter technology means the compressor is constantly adjusting its speed to maintain the exact temperature you set, rather than blasting on and off. This results in an incredibly smooth, continuous flow of cool air that makes the house feel like a perfectly controlled environment, rather than a freezer that occasionally thaws out. What really impressed me, though, was the noise level, or rather, the lack of it. Unlike the larger model, this 3-ton unit is whisper quiet. Even when standing right next to the outdoor condenser, it operates with a gentle, unobtrusive hum that easily blends into the background. You can have a barbecue right next to it, and you won't even notice it's running, which is a massive win for backyard comfort. The energy efficiency on this model is also off the charts. Because it rarely has to turn on at 100% capacity, it sips electricity compared to older, single-stage units. Well, when I checked the energy monitor during testing, the power draw was remarkably low, meaning this unit is going to save you a significant amount of money on your monthly utility bills over its lifespan. I mean, for the vast majority of homeowners, this is an incredible buy. It is perfectly sized, incredibly efficient, surprisingly quiet, and the price-to-performance ratio is just outstanding. 2. Lennox Sl28xcv. This isn't just an air conditioner, it is a masterclass in home climate engineering. This is currently recognized as one of the most precise and efficient air conditioners you can possibly buy, and from the moment it powers on, you can immediately tell you are dealing with a luxury product. The standout feature here is its insane SEER rating, making it one of the most energy-efficient central air conditioners in existence. When I started testing the Lennox, I was blown away by its variable capacity cooling. It can adjust its cooling output in incredibly tiny increments, meaning it only uses the exact amount of energy necessary to maintain your perfect temperature down to half a degree. And the silence, oh my goodness, the silence. I mean, I literally had to put my hand over the fan grate to make sure it was actually running because it is that quiet. Lennox uses a specially engineered sound dampening system and a swept wing fan blade design that completely eliminates the typical mechanical grinding and rushing air sounds. It is practically silent operation, both inside and outside your home. The climate control is just brilliantly precise. Paired with a Lennox smart thermostat, the Sl28xcv learns your habits and adjusts humidity and temperature so perfectly that you genuinely forget the weather outside exists. Well, you know that sticky, uncomfortable feeling you get when an AC turns off for a bit? That completely disappears with this unit because it maintains a constant, gentle, dehumidified breeze. You know, if you have the budget for it and you want the absolute pinnacle of efficiency and silent operation, the Lennox is almost impossible to beat. 1. Trane XV20i. When it comes to absolute reliability, legendary durability, and unmatched comfort, nothing else on the market touches this system. Trane has a reputation for building equipment that outlasts everything else, and the XV20i is the ultimate expression of that engineering philosophy. The secret sauce here is Trane's True Comfort technology. This variable speed system adjusts its speed in 0.1% increments. Well, let that sink in for a second. It is constantly monitoring the temperature, and making microscopic adjustments to ensure the climate inside your home never fluctuates. During my absolute rigorous testing, it held the indoor temperature flatline steady no matter what the sun was doing outside. It is also built like an absolute tank. I mean, you look at the weather guard top, the heavy-duty fasteners, and the proprietary spine fin coil, and you immediately know this thing is going to survive hail, extreme heat, freezing winters, and whatever else nature throws at it. Trane literally tortures their units in testing facilities to ensure they won't break down when you need them most. And you can feel that quality in every inch of this machine. Furthermore, when you integrate this with their top-tier air filtration systems, the air quality in your home transforms completely. It doesn't just cool, it scrubs the air, making it unbelievably fresh and clean. For anyone with allergies or anyone who just wants to breathe the cleanest air possible, the ecosystem Trane provides with the XV20i is simply unparalleled. You know, at the end of the day, an air conditioner is an investment in your home and your peace of mind. The Trane XV20i delivers the ultimate peace of mind.